I'm originally from Boston, Massachusetts. That's where I was born and raised. And I went to school for fashion design at Massachusetts College of Art.
I was originally a journalist. I studied journalism and mass communications here in Miami, and speech therapy.
Maggie c'est une haïtienne authentique. Moi c'est une femme politique puisque j'étais en 20 j'étais candidat au Sénat et après j'étais venu occuper une fonction importante dans le pays d'Haïti pendant 2 ans entre 2006 et 2008 comme ministre du Commerce et de l'Industrie.
Fashion to me is a self-expression of who you are through clothing.
Li vle di pour moi une attitude, li vle di pour moi une vitrine côté c'est li qui permet de reconnaître un monde.
So fashion to me is the first thing that you see. That's the first statement a person makes, is the way they're dressed.
Parce que la mode li évolué, li changé et à chaque fois il y a une ligne qui est ajoutée, à chaque fois il y a un nouveau style qui vient, mais en personnalité, li obligé tenu compte de qui est lié, qui j'en lié, qui j'en voulait habiller et lui-même li pour aller adapter mode là à lui-même.
At a very young age, growing up, I come from a family of 4 direct, and growing up, my dad used to always say to us whenever we'd go out to family parties, "Bon, ti moun met kon nou bien habillé, m'pa bweze moun pale sou nou." So image was installed at a very young age, and I was always an artist, so I was always drawing and sketching.
Maman, c'est une couturière que me levait, moi joindre qui était toujours à coudre, qui était toujours plein clients, qui était toujours plein catalogue, donc anti-moun li évolué dans le milieu. Et après évolution ça, même si gagne l'autre facteur qui va l'influencer, mais il d'abord gagner des premiers éléments.
My mother made dresses for me. My godmother, my mother's sister, was a designer also in New York, and I watched them growing up, and I was fascinated by how you could take the raw fabric and turn it into something beautiful.
There are 3 things I always try to keep in mind when it comes to quality, and that is, of course, the fabrication quality itself, the actual make of whether it's a knit or a weave. I also consider the silhouette, as in like how it falls on the female body. And then I also like to consider the patterns, whether it's something solid, whether it's something colorful. Those are 3 things to me that each have equally important elements that I always keep in mind whenever I'm designing something.
Well, it starts with you see the garment as a designer. You see it. I can see it in front of me, and then I go look for the fabric and the supplies that I need to make it, and you just start cutting and you put it on the mannequin and you make it come to life.
Ma première collection de vente et en 2005 je crois, c'était en blanc. 2005-2004 c'était en blanc. Et dernièrement on a eu une collection, on a eu un fashion show en Haïti et ma collection c'était blancheur tropicale. Et j'avais toutes mes pièces en blanc mais avec des variétés de blanc, du blanc pur comme du blanc cassé.
I like to work with white a lot because I do paint on my garments. And white or off-white is the most versatile. It allows me to use whatever colors that I want as far as painting goes.
Red is a very universal color. It works on every ethnicity, it works on every shape, it works on every skin tone. A woman in red always looks radiant. So for me, red is like the star color. And I guess in some essence, it's almost like describes me as a person as well. You know, there's days when I'm in a good mood, days when I'm in a bad mood. You know, red is like fire.
I love Oscar de la Renta. Of course, because he's from next door to us in Haiti. He's a lot, I find myself in him because he uses a lot of the materials that I like to use. He uses a lot of laces. He's very feminine in his designs.
I love the simple elegance of Carolina Herrera and Oscar de la Renta. As these are as far as the American designers are concerned, you know, there's this essence of sophistication and class that they do in their garments. When it comes to prints, I would have to say I definitely admire Tracy Reese. You know, she is the one black female designer who's doing extremely well. And at the same time, from a European level, I would say that I love Valentino.
Moi, j'aime un pile un designer comme Roberto Cavalli, qui gagne un côté tendre, un côté qui lié un peu avec style moins du genre dropping et du genre volant, du genre qui jouait avec tissu.
Twice a year I create a collection, spring, summer, and then fall, winter. And one of the first things I think about is what is my inspiration. So for spring, summer, my inspiration was the Amazon rainforest. And based off of the Amazon rainforest, I try to think about what elements of the rainforest do I want to recreate through fashion.
Well, after you've stopped sweating, you sort of, because this show was, this year, it was, the theme was Haïti à la mode. I used a lot from the Haitian tradition as the piece that you see here behind me, which is what we call in Haiti, carabila, which is a blue chambray that I mixed with the plaid that reminds me of the affranchi outfit. And the headpiece was, I used lace and to modernize it a little bit.
Pour les fashion shows internationales, c'est le thème et en fonction de qui saison. Et après les saisons, on va gagner choix des couleurs. Après les choix des couleurs, on va chercher tissu. C'est ça que les modélistes, parce que il y a des gens qui pas fait différence entre un styliste et un modéliste. Styliste là lui-même, c'est style là, c'est dessinateur là, la fait mouvement, la fait coquille, mais le fin fait coquille lui-même, c'est pas lui qui obligé à chercher tissu. Maintenant, il vous donne le coquille et à partir du coquille, on va connaître est-ce que faut toile loose, est-ce que on robe comme ça on fait avec en lin ou bien est-ce que on fait avec en crêpe ou bien en mousseline ou bien en satin.
First thing you need to do is be sure that that is what you want to do because the road is long. You need to decide where exactly you want to go with it. And you need to know your stuff because there's so much competition out there. You don't have to be, as a designer, people think of fashion designers as people that design only clothing. You could do handbags, you could do shoes, you could do jewelry, you could do a lot of things. So you need to pinpoint where you want to go in the industry, and you need to be very, very disciplined.
I sit here sometimes and I think of how I grew up and where I am today versus where I was yesterday. And I would have never thought I'd be a fashion designer, although I always wanted to be a fashion designer, but it's my dreams that have brought me to where I am today. Versus if I went with what people told me or went with statistics, then, you know, I should be a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer, as every Haitian household would have dreamed. But, you know, being a fashion designer was always a dream, and being a very creative fashion designer was always a dream. So the one thing I would say to young adults is, Always follow your dreams and stick to your guns.